Good morning and welcome to On the Beat. My name is Kim Mastrofino, and with me today is Martin Chan. Unfortunately, Joe is not able to do the broadcast today because he got called into work. So he wishes everyone well. And so it'll be me and Martin today. And we'll do a great job. So just wanted to check in with Martin. How you doing today?
Doing wonderful. It's Tuesday's morning. It's sunny and cold. It's also a holiday season.
It is start of the holiday season. So we just need the snow to make it even more festive, right?
I agree. So
A little bit later, though.
yeah, gotta be extremely cold to have snow.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a very special guest, Martin, today. He's Colin Bennet from the Malted Barley in Westerly. And so we do appreciate his time. You know, he's very busy, so we are lucky to have him on board. So let's bring on Colin.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Hey, Colin.
How's it going?
Doing great. How are you guys today?
Doing wonderful.
Doing great. You ready for us to pound you with questions?
Bring it on.
Like Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Well, I have been known to pass off for a good Drago, so just like Rocky 4.
Yeah. Good movie though.
Great movie.
So Martin and Joe normally do the interview questions. So it'll be me and Joe doing the questions, and we're going to find out more about the malted barley and everything that they're doing right now, and more about everything that Colin's been up to. So I guess I have the first question because normally that's what Joe would have. So I'm going to ask you. So you ready to go?
Ready to roll.
All right. So for those new to the broadcast, Colin, can you tell us about yourself and how you established the malted barley in Providence and in Westerly?
Sure. So myself, I grew up in the restaurant business. My semi-stepfather, John Kosh, ran 2 restaurants in my hometown of Ouray, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
And the Buen Tiempo, a Mexican restaurant and cantina, was kind of where my restaurant experience started. I worked there every summer as a busser, up to a host, server, and that would kind of be where it all started. I worked some different restaurant jobs in college, Bubba Gump's in Honolulu, Gordon Biersch Brewery. And, I kind of just naturally fit into the restaurant atmosphere. I went to school for broadcast journalism, communications degree. I wanted to be a sports broadcaster when I grew up. But, as far as work throughout the whole time in college, the restaurant has kind of brought me income my whole life. And that's where my experience was. So after managing a sports bar in Foxwoods, the stadium, it was near the Rainmaker parking garage, but is now closed. My wife and I decided to start a business together, and I was going to be promoted to general manager and move to New Hampshire, but they kind of weren't really paying me what I was worth. So I was like, maybe I can just be a good manager for other people and own my own business with my wife. So in 2009, we started working on our business plan. I bartended at Perks and Corks for a long time, one night a week. But that whole year, Brian brought me on full time to kind of support me while we were doing the business plan. We found a location in 2010 and, got the licensing. The business was formed in 2010, October. We started construction early January 2011, and we're up and running in May 2011. So that's how kind of the malted barley started. My wife came up with the pretzel idea in our kitchen, in our condo in Westerly on West Street by herself. just kind of messing around while I would be building the business. She would be messing around with the food at home. And we were initially going to do kind of a whole pub style normal menu. But the more she tried the pretzels, the more it kind of goes with anything. You can dip them, top them, stuff them, use them as sandwich buns, kind of do whatever you want. So it was a nice way to keep it simple and easy. So that's where the pretzels came from. And we were running for about 4 years, and throughout the early stages of the business, a lot of people were like, how'd you get the idea? Is it a franchise? And I was like, no, we came up with it in our kitchen at home. And so enough people had asked me, you should franchise. Why isn't this a franchise? I was like, oh, maybe we could make it a franchise. So about 4 years in, I joined on with a franchise development group and spent about half a year creating systems, procedures, policies, training manuals, recipe guides, folders, guides to ordering, opening. So basically created a franchise package out of the Malted Barley's idea. And then 2 years later, we were able to sell the first franchise, which a gentleman from Wisconsin, Ron Kohler, purchased the first franchise and got it up and running in Providence. And about a year after he was open, he offered to buy the franchising company from us. So Ron actually ended up purchasing the franchising company from us and is now the franchise owner. Okay. And since he has purchased it, we have opened one more restaurant. There's a Malted Barley in Juno Beach, Florida. So there are 3 of us at this point, and I'm contracted to help him train new Malted Barleys. So I'm still a part of the franchising process, but have a small ownership piece instead of being the franchise owner itself. So that's kind of the story behind the Malted Barley here in Westerly and Providence.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's interesting that you had gotten your start and in your early days as working in many restaurants. It reminded me of what I did, early on. I worked in many restaurants, and you can gain so much from working in that environment because you're dealing with people every day. So you're developing those skills. And I learned how to be super efficient because, let's face it, it can be a fast-paced environment, especially during the busy times. So, yeah.
Hopefully we see more of those.
Yeah. So yeah. And so what a great story, and you're growing, and I didn't realize you had a place in Florida. So that's amazing. So
yeah, and the 3 of us are all still open. So that says something about the concept to be able to make it, this long in this exciting time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I like the idea of you have kind of like a theme, like the pretzel theme is kind of like part of, what people know you for. And so we're going to be talking a little bit more about your pretzel menu and everything. But I think that's a really ingenious idea that you kind of plug that in there. So you've done amazing. I'm really impressed. I didn't realize the story behind everything. So
thank you. Yeah, it's been quite the ride. I constantly just kind of count my thanks. Very thankful to be here now, still open, and a lot of people have helped us throughout. So it's just very thankful to have what we do have with the Malted Barley.
That's awesome. Well, you're vested in it. Your heart and soul is in it, and that really shows and really makes a difference.
Thank you.
So Martin, why don't you take the next question?
Sure. Hey, Colin.
Hey, Martin.
How has COVID-19 affected your business and how you are operating now? What guidelines are in place?
Well, so, Obviously, as everyone knows, COVID-19 has severely impacted the restaurant industry.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in March when we first shut down, I went from 45 employees down to 4,
Oh, wow.
including myself. So we were forced to lay off 90% of our workforce initially. So that was the initial effect from COVID-19. As we have slowly opened more and more, and got to the place where phase 3 was happening. We were operating at kind of around 55-60% of business that we would normally see. So,
Mm-hmm.
it was more sustainable, similar sales to what we saw in the first or second year of being open. So we've been here before as far as the sales numbers are concerned. The business is a little larger at this point. 4 years in, we expanded. We basically created a third floor, a private party space upstairs with a second bar and a new prep kitchen. So, we're seeing year 1 and 2 sales, but we have another 85 seat capacity. So we've taken a pretty big hit as far as the business is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the guidelines we have in place to ensure people's safety, we're trying to follow whatever the governor says to a T.
Mm-hmm.
I meticulously measured each table 8 feet apart. Where there are high traffic areas, I've put up large partitions in the form of plastic cardboard, 4 by 8 foot sheets. As you enter the building, we've got 2 entrances, and I've got sheets hanging so there can be a table on one side and people entering and exiting the building on the other. So distance, the partitions where they're necessary. We, have virus killing multi-surface cleaner. Back off. It's on the list that was given to our distributors to sell as far as disinfecting surfaces. So we use that on everything that we disinfect. We have hand sanitizer, automatic hand sanitizer station as you enter the building.
Mm-hmm.
Next to each restroom. We've got hand sanitizer all over the place. We have sign-off sheets for our staff to clean the bathrooms, to sign off when they do it, to give some accountability to our staff. We also make sure we wipe down edges of tables. We wipe down the chairs after everyone sits. So it's kind of a constant cleaning process. We also have requested that folks send one person in from their party to see if there's seating available, so there's no crowding. It's a tough time for people. Some people want to get back to normal. So we try to be quick when finding folks a seat. Again, luckily, we have a lot of seats in the building, so it's kind of easy to get them there. I've just had to, balance staffing levels and what I can afford. So it's interesting. They need us to do more things, but we don't have the money really to hire more people. So we've been, running around doing our best. Another random thing that I purchased early on was UV light wands. So basically, when it's a slow period, I have the servers and bartenders take these UV lights and sanitize, high use surfaces such as doors, railings, tables, chairs, because the UV light kills viruses within 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as keeping the space safe, I think we've been doing a really good job. And as far as keeping our customers safe, we've been asking folks to wear a mask. I require my staff to have masks on at all times. again, trying to follow the governor and, well, what little federal guidance there has been.
Mm-hmm.
But, if we don't take it seriously,
Right.
other people won't. And I know there's a lot of people affected by what's been going on. It may not be me personally, but, everyone's connected. And we have to take it seriously because ultimately we are a business for the people. We always have been. You brought it up earlier, Kim. You learn these people skills, but really that's what the restaurant is about. It's serving people, giving an environment where folks can enjoy themselves and get away from whatever it is. But in this time, it's even more important to have a getaway and feel taken care of and feel cared about. So that's something that I've always tried to instill in my staff is it's a people business and we're here for everybody. So in a pandemic, we're trying to be responsible and leaders in the community as far as following guidelines, because I can only imagine how hard it is to make these decisions.
Right.
Nobody wants to be making these decisions or wearing masks, but here we are. It's gotten worse and worse because of irresponsibility. So we're trying to, be as responsible as possible.
So it's very interesting with a UV light to clean the virus. That's very interesting.
Yeah, Martin, I like technology, and
Everyone does.
and my wife kind of tried to slow me down because when it initially hit, I'm like, how can we keep our staff safe? How can I make people feel comfortable? And we didn't have much money to spend because bills were coming in and not much money was coming in.
Right.
But I bought visors. I got UV wands. I almost purchased giant UV lights, but went against it because of radiation. And so it's been a wild process, and I thankfully am fairly malleable mentally. I can change and adapt, and that's really served me in this time.
That sounds really great.
So, Colin, are you doing outside dining, or obviously it's getting cold? But did you do outside dining initially?
So we did throughout the summer. My neighbor, who I rent parking spaces from in our back lot next to our patio, allowed me to put some tents up this summer. Joe Falcone, very thankful for him saying yes to that. At this point in time, we aren't going to be putting the tents back out because of wind and weather. But if it's a nice sunny day, we do put some tables in the back parking lot. I've got a patio that's always available. We've got some stand-up heaters. We also have 10 portable heaters that you can put on your table or put down next to your legs. So I have invested in some of those items to help people feel comfortable. A lot of folks only feel comfortable dining outside. So I'm trying to make it possible for us to give those people a space to sit comfortably. Obviously, we're just hoping anybody comes in. After the last conference or meeting with the governor, we've had a really slow sales shot the last week, hoping to get a little something in this holiday week. Obviously, we're doing our best to keep people safe, and we'll do that even if you come in this week. But we're kind of just preparing to be ready for the pause.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. So for at least a couple of weeks, there'll be a pause. Would you still be doing curbside pickups?
Yeah, so curbside pickup, delivery, she's still allowing indoor dining at 33% capacity, which for us is 90 people. So we still have space to safely let diners do their thing. She initially said that only one or a single household could sit at a table. After sending out the guidance, the detailed guidance to the restaurants via email, she is going to be allowing 2 households to meet at a dining area at one table. So how we're trying to monitor this, obviously it's a hard thing for a restaurant to police, but during the pause for indoor dining, we will be taking walk-ins, but we will put you in our reservation system, and we'll have to take the names down of each person just so we're covered as far as kind of doing our part to keep people safe. But you can also make reservations ahead of time on our website, www.themaltedbarleyri.net. There's a word, you click the word reservations, you pass the COVID screening form, click the word reservation again, and it guides you through an easy way to do it. So, indoor dining will still be available. Our patio is still there if you have a jacket and like to enjoy the outside. But we also do curbside pickup, takeout, and through our website, you can order online and do delivery as well.
Nice.
So, there's a lot of options if you want to support us during this time.
Well, it sounds like great options. So I think you'll be okay.
I hope so. We'll see.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Can you tell us more about your beer menu? What is the biggest selling beer and what's your favorite?
Sure. So it's wild right now, the beer menu. So we've got no printed menus for the beer list. You just put your phone over a QR code and it takes you to our website, which shows you the list. But we have 37 draft beer lines. We call ourselves a craft beer bar. So what that means is, you'll see a lot of different styles and types of beers on our list. The most popular, it's an interesting time of year. People have kind of moved into the stouts and porters, the darker beers this time of year. But for the most popular, it's hard to say. I change the beer list a lot, but I would say Allagash White. It's a nice wheat beer from Allagash Brewery in Maine. It's a easy drinking, coriander, light lemon zest kind of flavors. Another one would be the Gray Sail Little Sister, which is just a light pale ale from our local brewery down the street. Those are hot items, if you will, but we offer those plus about 30 other cans and bottles. We also have a craft cocktail list, wines, a lot of non-alcoholic options such as Yacht Club sodas, Schooner's sodas. We've got CBD sodas, Captain Eli root beer on tap. So whoever you are, we have something for you.
I guess so. That's a great variety. And your favorite is your favorite?
So I would say my favorite on tap right now, we just tapped it and it's a limited item, but it's a Kentucky bourbon barrel peppermint porter.
Ooh.
So it's a dark beer, light bodied, a hint of peppermint, but you still kind of get some warmth from the bourbon barrels as well. So it's an interesting flavor, but I would call it a wonderful holiday beer.
Thanks for that.
No problem.
That's awesome. Martin, would you like to take the next question?
Yeah. You are known for your pretzels, gourmet pretzels. Was meant to say was, can you tell us a bit more about your pretzel menu? That's what I meant to say was.
No worries. So we have topped pretzels, which are our basic salted pretzel with different toppings. We have stuffed pretzels, which are pretzels that are hand rolled with stuff inside of them: jalapeno cheddar, chipotle smoked Gouda, and tomato mozzarella. We also have pretzel sandwiches. So basically we have a little thicker pretzel bun that we bake to order, cut in half. So you're always getting fresh baked bread with your sandwiches. We also have salads. These salads include pretzel croutons, and we do two pretzel desserts. One is a waffled pretzel with Nutella and vanilla ice cream. Another is a sugar cinnamon coated pretzel served with cream cheese frosting. And the secret behind that flavor is we rub it in apricot butter before coating it with sugar and cinnamon. So it's a delight. So yeah, it's a pretzel themed menu. We recently, this past 2 years, I am our butcher. We get a hind quarter that's organic grass-fed meat from Lewis Family Farms in New York. We make our roast beef from all organic beef. We have 50% organic pork and beef in our meatballs. We have halal chicken from a local farm. So we have upped the game as far as quality in the past few years, trying to serve the best possible food to our guests who've supported us for, almost 10 years.
Wow, that sounds amazingly good.
Making me hungry.
Come on down. We open in 35 minutes.
That's all I like to say. Yeah.
Martin, you said that you had tried the roast beef pretzel sandwich and you thought it was good, you told me.
Oh, I have. It's delicious.
It's so roast beef on a salted bun with our homemade cabbage slaw, which is pickled slaw, and garlic aioli and red onion.
That sounds delicious. Well, I need that again.
Lunch is coming soon.
Sounds like it, yeah.
I think I have the next question for you, Colin. Do you have any future plans for the business?
Stay alive.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to help Ron, hopefully, as the climate for restaurants, gets back to somewhat normal, to help him train new malted barleys. So we'd like to see the brand spread across the nation if possible. Luckily, we have full rights to do kind of whatever we want. So we're not necessarily controlled by the franchise, but we will always do right by the name in keeping the theme and quality high. But as far as our location, I've got aspirations to make our patio into a triple tiered patio deck at some point. And who knows what the zoning laws are. I've got to do a little bit of research, but I don't know about rooftop dining, maybe.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
That would be in the future, obviously, with a lot of construction involved. So don't expect that soon. But, as far as future is concerned, those are things that have crossed my mind.
Well, we're going to check in to make sure that happens on the progress of that.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. Martin, I think you have the last question.
Okay. What else would you like others to know about the malted barley?
I think I've said most of it. I think something for this time is to just reiterate, we will take walk-ins during the pause, and we're thankful for any way you can support us right now, whether it's buying a gift card, sharing one of our posts on social media, talking about us with your friends, just mentioning something you like to someone else during Thanksgiving. Yes, and we're also thinking about possibly after Thanksgiving hits doing breakfast sandwich to-goes from 7 to 11 a.m. and possibly doing make your pretzels at home takeout kits. So you would get the frozen pretzels, some baking soda toppings, and you could kind of make a family event out of it. So those may be happening within the next week.
Yeah, I think people like that idea. I think
That sounds really interesting.
you could even do a virtual show on pretzel making.
We could do it here.
Ooh, very good.
Think about it.
I will.
If you guys force me, then I'll make the time. I've got a lot going on.
Yeah,
Right.
I know, and we appreciate it, your time, and we wish you well now and in the coming months. I know that it is tough times for everyone, but you're in our thoughts and prayers, and here's to a good start in 2021. So thank you. And
Thank you for having me.
yes, and
Thank
thank you, Martin, for being a great host. You did a great job today, and thank you for all that joined in. We do appreciate it. If you happen to have missed this morning, you can always visit our social media pages and catch it then. But in the meantime, please keep an eye on Facebook for the next broadcast. Caswell Cook will be on next week. We look forward to his visit. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week. Happy Thanksgiving, and stay safe and healthy.
Well, that's it for now. See you next time on the beat.
You got it.